All right, we're back here using the backup computer. Sorry about that. Man, I've got a new computer, just haven't taken it out of the box yet, but definitely got to get something worked out here. But we are back. Somewhat, anyway. All right, we're back here using the backup definitely, definitely a challenge. But I appreciate folks coming out and watching the race here. Definitely a challenge there when you have some computer issues. Got to wait for the other system to sort of run through its process before we can boot back into rFactor 2. So using the backup stream here, and this is the backup computer, so the graphics on this is going to be a little bit dicey. But better than nothing, right? So we'll take a look at Stephen Miller here as he runs in the fourth position. Got a double deal there. It's going to show IndyCar too. That's nice. So until we get this back up and running, this is what we're going to have to use, unfortunately. Take a look at our race leader, Roman Yapsev, in the McLaren. And Mata Indika is in second. ADHIE third, Stephen Miller fourth, Lucas Symphony in fifth. So a little tough deal for us. I apologize for that. Take a look at Mata Indika here running in the second position, 6.7 seconds back in Bentley. Running in P3 is SATHYA. Yeah, also in the Bentley. Got about 4.3 seconds between he and P2, and 11 seconds back to the race leader. He's still working on getting steam back up and running on the main system. Stephen Miller in that speed detail sponsor machine running in the fourth position. ADHIE, Lucas Symphony in the fifth spot in the Radical. 3.6 seconds behind P4. 21.5 seconds behind the race leader. Lights are out here at Dubai. Claudio Bardelli Jr. in the Ferrari. He had about 4 seconds separate. He and Luca Sinfiner running in P5. Claudio Bardelli Jr. having a pretty good night here. And he's got some company, and that is Muhammad ALIF AYUBA, just under a second behind, and that is a tight battle there. As Claudio Bardelli Jr. has a little bit to deal with now. Looking out the front of Muhammad ALIF AYUBA's machine, as he's going to try to make this pass here coming into the turn down on the inside. He is all over the back of that Ferrari right now. If you just joined us, we're on the backup broadcast, trying to get our main system back up after a crash there. So good news is, in the long run, is I've got a new computer sitting in the box waiting to be put to use. Gonna find the time here. Hopefully a little bit tomorrow, and we'll start messing with that. But I got a few things I got to add to it. But and then this system will give it an overhaul. The main system will give an overhaul here, and hopefully end some of those problems. So Claudio Bardelli Jr. has now kind of opened up a gap there on AYUBA. AYUBA is now in the in the 7th position, but he's about about 1.2 seconds back. And Bardelli Jr. 5.9 back to P6. Take a look at Will Dunbar, Ian the Radical in the number 88 car. A little bit of a challenge here for him. He didn't have a lot of time to practice here, I don't think, at this track. So he's just making some laps here, hoping to preserve his position in the point standings. He's got a little bit of work to do. Oh, no! Coming around there, it looks like Roman Yaptsev has come around. He's spun that car around, so I'm not sure what happened to him. But that car, it comes around, and he ends up giving away first position. Oh my heavens, man. Big shake-up right there. Let's see what happened here. As he just gets too hot into that turn and loses the back end. And Mata and Dinka, they're ready to pounce. Looking out the front of his machine. Look at this, Mata and Dinka's machine. And, oh, man, he does a great job of getting off the track there and avoiding that McLaren. Mata and Dinka there, great move, heads-up move as Yapchev comes around. Again, we'll take a look here. This is from the driver's bench. Just too hot here, and he gets onto that curb right there and upsets the balance of that car a little bit. And then coming around, and right there, man, that was almost disaster. Roman Yaptsev now working from the 2nd position. And he's got a little work to do. As our new race leader is Mata and Dinka in the Bentley. Mata and Dinka there has been flawless. Started in P2 and has gained a spot there now. Our race leader, Roman Yaptsev, trying to play some catch-up. Running in P2, ADHIE SATHYA running in the 3rd position. Also in the Bentley. We may very well have another computer issue here. I hope not, but we're kind of getting on the way back. Takes a little bit. we just have a driver error that we're trying to diagnose. We're trying to figure out what the heck's going on with that. So anybody knows computers knows. Takes a while to kind of figure out what's going on. Stephen Miller running in the 4th position. Lucas Simpner has dropped back there just a little bit, but Stephen Miller having a good run here. Good top 5 run for him. Take a look at Lucas Simpner in the Radical number 21 car running in P5. 2.8 seconds separate he and P4. He's got a pretty good gap on the 6th position car. Here's Claudio Bardelli Jr. in P6. 7.6 seconds separate he and Lucas Simpner, who's in 5th. Bardelli Jr. 6th. Just behind him is Muhammad ALIF AYUBA. Running in the 7th position. Oh, man, a ton of, I don't know, I mean, he missed a shift or something. That car came around in a hurry. My gosh, that snapped around on him. I think he downshifted and lost the back end of that car. Oh, my heavens, man, that car is going to have a ton of damage now. Let's take a look and see what happened here. Right here, man, he just out of control. Just absolutely out of control right there. I think he just downshifted and lost the back end of that car. And that thing hard into the wall. Stephen Miller's had some trouble as well. Stephen Miller's come around. He gets off the track. A little bit wide on that turn. He doesn't get into the wall or anything, but he's going to lose a position as Lucas Simpner goes by. That's what I said, man. Once you turn out the lights, things get a little crazy. We're starting to see the tires get used up a little bit. Go on board here with Lucas Simpner as Stephen Miller's going to be off to the side right there on that right side. And Luca takes that spot now up to P4. Take a look at ADHIE SATHYA here in the 46 car, running in the 3rd position. Just ahead of him is Roman Yapsev trying to play some catch-up in that McLaren. A tough order there, but just ahead of him is Mata Ndinka, the race leader. So about 2.4 seconds to the race leader. Mata Ndinka there going a little bit wide, coming around the turn. He's going to scrub off some speed. So that Bentley having a little trouble with that turn. Mata Ndinka into Bentley. Took the race lead when Roman Yapsev came around. And now trying to hold on to that lead. So I think we're back here. Thank heavens, man. My heavens, man. This has been a challenging few weeks for me. Now we're back as we're taking a look at Stephen Miller. He's running in the 5th position. We'll go up here with our race leader, Mata and Dinka there. Thanks so much for your patience. Appreciate that. Fortunately had a backup computer there racing the stream. That's what I use my side-by-side view with. So we're able to at least give you a little bit less of a downtime between the action. And hopefully we'll stay connected this time. You can see the gap there as Ndinka has opened up a gap of 3 seconds on Yapsev. SATHYA is 9 seconds back. We'll take a look at him. 9 seconds back in the 3rd position. And again, my apologies. But that happens, right? You know, everybody who knows computers, and especially sim racing, knows that you have these snafus. Hopefully we're done for tonight. We got 26 minutes left to go, and we can make it the rest of the way, including the post-race. You got a new PC already, so Michael's saying, hope your new PC arrives soon. It's here. I just haven't, I got to put another SSD in it. And then get everything transferred over, and then this computer eventually will be the backup computer. Which means if I'm going to do a dual stream, I'm probably going to need another monitor for that. So Mata and Dinka there continuing to lead here. 25 minutes left to go. As it looks like Roman Yapsev on pit lane, so he is making a pit stop here with 25 minutes, just a little over 25 minutes when he came in. So he's looking at sheer halfway on that pit stop. Yapsev finishing up his pit stop now, coming back out on track. Yapsev has finished his pit stop. He is now back on track. Take a look at ADHIE SATHYA. He is now in the 3rd position, 2nd position. Lucas in for 3rd. Stephen Miller is in 4th. And Bardelli Jr. is in the 5th position. Muhammad ALIF AYUBA has had some trouble. He's lost a couple positions there. Take a look and see what happened to him here in this 68 car. Says he comes off track, so it gets a little bit wide right there. Not too bad. He's playing a little catch up. He's running in the 8th position. Lucas Symphony here running in the 3rd position. Pretty good night here for him. Been a quiet night. 23.5 seconds back to the race leader. Still needs to make a pit stop, and we'll see. I think we've only had 1, maybe 2 drivers make pit stops. Take a look here. It looks like only 1. Roman Yapsev has made that pit stop. The rest of these folks still need to come in. Mandatory pit stop. Mata and Dinka. The part of the Penguin family. Always posted on Facebook, man, he loves his family so much, and enjoy seeing the pictures of just how happy he is with his family and you know, what he has. And he calls them his penguin family. So I always mention that whenever I mention him. One of our good friends, one of my good friends on Facebook, and leading the race right here. Pretty solid in that Bentley. He's been flawless, really. I mean, he's had a couple missed turns. Of course, everybody's going to have some bad injuries and so forth, but really has been solid. Now you got to start wondering when you're going to start making pit stops. You know that Yapsev's got a fast car. He wasn't too far behind when he decided to come down pit lane. So the longer you're out here on these older tires, the more time you're going to give up to somebody who has fresh tires. So will you have enough time to even that out once you come back out off pit lane, you know, from making your pit stop, to make use of those fresh tires? SATHYA here running in the second position. A couple Bentleys here, 1-2. And then we got a Radical in the third position. Stephen Miller running in the fourth position in McLaren. And Bardelli Jr. in fifth in the Ferrari. We'll take a look at Roman Yapsev in the sixth position in the McLaren. Trying to chip in to P5. And again, he's on fresher tires here, so at him is Claudio Bardelli Jr. Bardelli Jr. got about 9.5 seconds to P4. And that is Stephen Miller. So this Ferrari, the lone Ferrari in the field right now, good top 5 run for him. Will Dunbar on pit lane in the Radical. So the number 88 car making a pit stop here at with about 20 minutes left to go. ADHIE here with 20 minutes left to go, running in P2. And again, he still needs to make a pit stop as well. Dunbar still on pit lane. Look at that view. Oh, ADHIE coming around and gets into the wall. P2 comes around as Will Dunbar finishing up his pit stop. ADHIE having some trouble here. Just under 20 minutes left to go. And spins that Bentley into the wall. I think that answers the question when you need to come in. And it was probably a lap ahead of that. And he's having some trouble now. You see that car is just not biting anymore. He's got some damage. Boogered up those tires. And he's had some trouble. So ADHIE, excuse me, that's Mata and Dinka has come around too. ADHIE come around. And maybe the Bentleys here starting to wear those tires out. Look at this. Right there, man, he just tries to hang on to that thing. It gets a little bit of grip with the gas pedal. He accelerates and right into the wall. And take a look at this again. He's already sideways right there. He tries to accelerate out of that. And then the back tires are grip and then straight into the wall. Our race leader, Mata and Dinka. He's come around. Look at that, man. Whoa! He's going to get into the wall. Takes out one of the signs. So he spun that car. Oh, my heavens. Our race leader. I'd say, man, you got to come down pit lane. Got to get those cars on pit lane. Well, he took out a sign right there. Look at this. Trying to hang on to that thing. This is slow-mo. And then he takes out a sign. Knocking that sign across the track. So just a ton of speed right there. Just way too much speed. And then smacks that sign. Muhammad ALIF AYUBA's had some trouble too. Another one of these Bentleys. 3 Bentleys having trouble in this 68 car. He didn't spin, but he got off track there. We've got race leader, or was the race leader, Mott Andiga, and also ADHIE SATHYA on pit lane, Stephen Miller on pit lane. So these guys have figured out, hey, it is time to come to pit lane. Lucas Simpson now the race leader in that 21 car. He still needs to make a pit stop. So looking at this crew on pit lane as Lucas Simpson leading in the Radical. Just under 17 minutes left to go. So things getting interesting here as Lucas Simpson leading the field. A lot of guys having some trouble late. I think it stayed out just a little bit too long. I don't know what's going on there in that chat. Send you a pic of my wife later. You won't call me a friend afterwards. Wow. 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 She's obviously not watching the stream. So Lucas Simpson has been pretty quiet. Running in around P4, P3 area there, and now some guys have come down pit lane. They've had some trouble as well, and Lucas still needs to make a pit stop. You take a look at the stops there. Lucas Simpson and Claudio Bardelli Jr., ALIF AYUBA also needing to make a pit stop. Take a look at Bardelli Jr. as Will Dunbar, who's come off pit lane on fresh tires just behind him. Looking out of the back of Bardelli Jr.'s machine at Will Dunbar in the Radical. On board here with Will Dunbar. Many's Radicals are so quiet. It's like whisper. The engine whispers to you. Just whispers. A little bit wide there for the 88 car. Oh man, right there in front of Roman Yaptsev. The 88 comes around and Roman Yaptsev almost gets into him. Oh my heavens, man. So Will Dunbar spun that car. Came around. Take a look here as Will Dunbar comes around, and then right there, Roman Yaptsev in the third position almost gets into him. Looking out of the front of Roman Yaptsev's machine, watch this. It's a great job getting on the gas, and then a little bit of wheel work right there. And gets through. You saw that happening. That's a good thing about this track. There's enough room, and you get a pretty good visual. You can make adjustments, but wow. Could have been catastrophic there for Roman Yaptsev. Bardelli Jr. in the Ferrari. You see that McLaren of Roman Yaptsev now picking up a position, getting by Claudio Bardelli Jr. We'll take a look at that pass. Well, inside on this turn, and the Ferrari going to give up a spot. Now, Bardelli Jr., I think, still has to come down pit lane as Yaptsev now gaining a spot here. So that's just going to hurt Bardelli Jr. as he still needs to make a pit stop here. Lucas Simpson still needs to make a pit stop. We've got to be wondering here when the race leader is going to come down pit lane. Seems to me that the longer you stay out now, you're going to be hurting yourself. I would have probably pitted a little bit earlier. But Lucas Simpson finds a way, man. He's got a little bit of an unorthodox style of racing. I mean, just, at the micro level and also at the macro level too. He has a plan pretty much, figure out what he wants to do, and sometimes the race just comes to him. SATHYA here running in P5 in the Bentley. Oh no, that Bentley coming, oh man, he snaps around on him. It snaps around on him. SATHYA coming around in the Bentley. That thing just snapped back to the left, didn't it? My heavens. Let's take a look here. He is carrying a ton of speed, and this thing just snaps back on him right here. Go on board here with this. He's going to break his elbows here on this one. Going to absolutely break his elbows. So now Lucas Sinfler on pit lane. Making a pit stop here with 11.5 minutes left to go. Roman Yapchev is going to take the lead, I believe. So Yapchev back to the race lead. Bardelli Jr. is on pit lane as well in the Ferrari. This track is nice, man. It really is. They've done a great job on this track. And I think nighttime is really the way to run this track. So Bardelli Jr. on pit lane as Roman Yapchev leading the field. Mata Indika is in second. A little bit of work for him to do. He is 18.9 seconds behind the race leader, and I don't think that's enough time. You got enough time here to really chip into that. He is on a little bit fresher tires. Take a look at ADIHIE here in the Bentley running in P4. Lucas Sinfler just ahead of him, about a minute or so. Mohammed ALIF AYUBA in the Bentley. Again, more trouble for him in the 68 car, and he's coming around. Again, a little bit of room for him, doesn't get into the wall, and really kind of the best case scenario, spin that car. You know what's happened to him, but man, maybe these tires not working for him. Just under 10 minutes left to go. As Roman Yapchev back to the race lead. He was our pole sitter here tonight. Lost the lead in that first stint. Got a lively chat session, that's good. Again, apologize for the streaming problems. We're back at it though. We didn't miss too much of it. You know, I had the alternate stream going on, so we're able to, once we get that booted back up, able to continue on. Givaldo Linares in here, good to see him. Jordan S. Antti Rossi. How about that, Antti Rossi? There's some royalty right there, Sim Racing Mania royalty. Hanging out in here with some of his Sim Racing Mania friends. Look at Mata Indika here. He is got some work to do. 18.5 seconds roughly for him to try to close in on Roman Yapchev, and I don't think that's enough time. Yapchev can really kind of lay back on in that McLaren and still pull off the race victory. Sinfler running in the third position in the 21 car. So the late race pit stop really has not hurt him too badly. He got out to a huge lead and did a great job here coming down pit lane. He is in the third position. ADIHIE has, ADIHIE is coming around again. These Bentleys seem to be having some trouble here. For whatever reason, we've seen the Bentley drivers really looping the cars. So not sure what's going on there, but ADHIE still in the 4th position. Running in P5 is the Ferrari, Claudio Bardelli Jr. He's got Stephen Miller in the McLaren just behind him in P6. Stephen Miller tried to pick up a late race position. He started in the 4th spot. And he's looking to close in on Bardelli Jr. Now remember, Bardelli Jr. pitted a little bit later, so he's on a little bit fresher tires. And Stephen Miller and McLaren laser focused. Try to close in on this Ferrari. Good looking paint scheme for that 42 car. He does race models, you know, like highly detailed race models. Message him on Discord if you're interested in maybe having a one of your rFactor 2 schemes made into a race model. I'm sure he could do that for you. Will Dunbar in the 88, and the Radical is 1 lap down, running in the 7th position. He and Muhammad ALIF AYUBA, both 1 lap down. Just under 6 minutes left to go, and Yaptsev 17-second lead. That lead has diminished somewhat, but Mata and Dinka not closing in fast enough. To be able to make anything of it here. Take a look at Mata and Dinka running in the Bentley in the 2nd position. Good looking paint scheme out of that Bentley there. He's trying to push this thing, close in, but got 17.5 seconds separate he and P1. I'll tell you what, man, one thing I've noticed is the Eastern European drivers are just absolutely fantastic at the GT3 cars. But we've got quite a few drivers from that neck of the woods, I should say. That's a saying, like that part of the world. And they seem to be just really, really good at the GT3 cars. And Roman Yaptsev, one of the best. Dinka here, he's come around, I believe, in this Bentley. Some more issues here. And again, ton of speed. He gets up on the curb. And then almost comes all the way around. And gets that car straightened back up. That's going to hurt his effort of trying to close in on Yaptsev with 4 minutes left to go. Yaptsev still in command. Some of these guys that may have taken soft tires are starting to pay the price a little bit, I think. This SATHYA, he is almost looped that car all the way around. He's still in P4. And Lucas Sinfer having a good run here in the 3rd position. Some good top 3 run for Lucas Sinfer. Takes a little under 2 minutes to get around this place, so I think we're probably going to have about 2 laps to go. As Mata and Dinka there trying to gather his thoughts. He's 24.9 seconds back to the race leader. Everybody's sort of spread out right now. Yaptsev is in control. The closest battle on the track really is Stephen Miller and Claudio Bardelli Jr. We'll take a look at Stephen Miller in the McLaren. Bardelli Jr. just ahead of him. About 3 seconds or so separate the two of those guys, 3.7 seconds. Bardelli Jr. and the Ferraris opened up a little bit of a gap there on Stephen Miller. So Yapchev now rolling up on some lap traffic here. Blue flag, I'm sure, for the Bentley. As Yapchev's going to have another lap, I think he's going to have to give us. See the Bentley there moving over and letting Yapchev go. And AYUBA does come around as he enters that turn, so he's had some more issues. Looks like we're going to have another lap in us here. As it does look like Roman Yapchev is going to come away with a race victory here in this McLaren. Hard to get a screenshot in the dark, isn't it? Somebody turn on the lights, man. It's a timing thing too. You got to get just the right time where the lights are. There you go. This is going to be the last lap. Roman Yapchev got himself back to the race lead. Mata and Dinka, he led for a little while. Had a few laps led there for him. Lucas Simfer led some laps. Man, he really downshifted right there. So great run from Roman Yapchev. He had a little trouble in that first stint. Spun that car around, and Mata did a great job of avoiding him. But the second half of this race, he's pitted early. Roman Yapchev, the second half of this race, ran away and had the fewer mistakes. He really did not do anything wrong here in that second stint. And he's going to come away with the race victory here. One more turn to go for the McLaren. As Roman Yapchev gets the race win here at Dubai. Mata and Dinka here trying to close this out. Got a little work to do. But Yapchev gets the win, and a fantastic run there for him. He says, I'm going to go to the garage, as Mata and Dinka there finishes in P2. Lucas Simfner, a good run here for him. I think he's going to finish in the third position. Coming around the final turn in that Radical in the 21 car. Finishes in the third position. So good run there for the Radical of Lucas Simfner. So Roman Yapchev, man, oh wow, what a run there for him. As he's in the garage there drinking some champagne now. Hard to beat up on that McLaren tonight. He was really, really good. And just that one mistake, but didn't let that rattle him, and came out after pit stops and ran away from the field. We'll take a look at the session results. Roman Yachev in the McLaren finishes in P1. Mata Ndika finishes in the second position in the Bentley. Lucas Simford, a great run in the Radical, finishing in third. SATHYA finishes in the fourth position in the Bentley. Claudio Bardelli Jr. in the Ferrari finishes in fifth. Stephen Miller in the McLaren finishes in the sixth position. Will Dunbar in the Radical finishes seventh. Muhammad ALIF AYUBA finishes in the eighth position in the Bentley. So congratulations to Roman Yachev on getting the win here at Dubai. Great job to him. We've had a little bit of a challenging night, to say the least, but we overcame. That'll definitely help him out in the point standings, that's for sure. He's been a little bit of a part-time driver for us. So we'll take a look at the schedule here in the GT3 series with Dubai in the books. We got Silverstone coming up next week. Singapore Marina Bay coming up on November the 13th. That'll be a great one to finish out the season. So Silverstone, fantastic track. I've not been on Singapore Marina Bay track. I think that's a city circuit there. And I've not been on that track. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out. I think... Will Dunbar's did a great job of choosing these tracks. We've got a huge diversity of tracks here. So excited about these last two races. Silverstone is one I know well, and it's a great track. Very good for GT3 racing. The folks join us in the stream here saying, well done, good stream here. We've had some trouble here tonight, so thanks for being kind. Definitely had some issues here with the stream tonight. We'll get that worked out at some point. Don't forget, later tonight we have the Saturday Night Thunder coming up. Great series. And it will be at Martinsville Speedway. That's a Cup Series, Cup cars, stock car racing, some beating and banging at Martinsville. Marty, a short track, race number 8 of the season. And what a fun one this will be. So come on out and join us at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Well, it doesn't sound like Roman wants to do an interview, so he's going to go off and drink his champagne and take all the pretty girls. So congratulations to him. And appreciate him coming out here and joining us at High Octane Racing League, and all the folks coming out and joining us on the stream, watching the stream. Also want to say congratulations to Claudio Bardelli Jr. for winning the Buschwackers Championship last night at California. What a great championship battle it was. Not only did the race end with between P1 and P2 was 15 thousandths of a second, but also Claudio Bardelli Jr. edged out Artur Vieta with a 1-point lead at the end of the season to win the championship. So congratulations to him. Bada bains, Claudio Bardelli Jr. Well, that's going to do it for us, for me tonight. Thank you so much for joining me here on TurnLeftTV. And you know what that means, boys and girls. I am